Well, greetings, Blade fans. This old sword is with you once again, and we're revisiting a company I had almost forgotten about, if you could believe that. And with a few microtechs I've picked up recently, along with some Hogues, revisiting USA-made knives, absolutely. And ZT is certainly zero tolerance. Also with the child company of Kershaw. The ZTs are USA made, whereas the Kershaws, I think, are 50-50. They might be made overseas. Anyway, that is a tangent. Let's see what we've got and experience it, as they say here. This is what we've got. The 0308. Is it the 0308? It is the 0308. I was going to say 0306. Nope, they don't have numbers. Getting a little bit like Tucson, or actually, I think they were putting out knives long before Tucson. Anyway, I am enthralled and amazed by this knife, which I actually hesitated getting. And I did pick this up from White Mountain. Unfortunately, discounts do not apply to ZT knives at White Mountain. There are a few makers like Microtech and so forth that you cannot discount their products. So, yes, you got to pay full price for the zero tolerance knives. And that's something that the manufacturer requires. So, can't do anything about it, but you can definitely appreciate this blade. This one is the, I believe it's called BTS ZT, because it is black titanium, beautifully done. By the way, that clip is aftermarket, and I have put that on. It did come with a ZT steel clip on it. This one is titanium, and this is from MXG. MXG? Yeah. Not MGX, MXG. Lynch also makes some excellent clips for Benchmade and ZT. The Benchmade clips basically fit the ZT knives in most cases. 3 screws. And a little difficult getting it on because those screws are kind of partially hiding under the clip. But that's another story. This is a large, confidence-inspiring knife. That's all I can say about it. It is beautifully 3D milled on the G10 side here, and the titanium side looks almost exactly like the G10 side. I mean, you can hardly tell because the coating they used on the titanium really beautifully emulates the matte sort of finish on the G10. We have this large see-through portion here behind the pivot, and the pivot will accept a wrench. Sorry, don't have that, or maybe I do have that info nearby. Hang on a second. So here I am on the ZT site, and these are the 2 models currently made of the 0308. There is the Desert Tan with the uncoated blade that is stonewashed, and the stonewashed and tiger striped black blade. So it's a couple of things here of note. ZT is saying for the first time ever, ZT is using a black oxide black wash finish with its classic Tigerstripe pattern. So this 0308 BLKTS offers a beefy 3.7 inch blade, and you can see the rest if you want to freeze frame it. It is 20 CV, KVT ball bearings, and the military style black oxide black wash finish, compatible with a variety of aftermarket pocket clips. Does that tell you that maybe a lot of people are switching the clip? Because their clips, I think, you know, maybe don't turn out quite as well as the knife. Here's an example of a clip on an 0770, which I'll show you in a bit. But that's kind of what you get with the, not as short, but that's what you get with this. I kind of like the way that the matte finish of the clip, kind of stonewashed on this titanium clip, matches the tone on the blade. So, you know, high fashion there. It is beautifully functioning. Those KVT bearings, man, it's a drop shut knife because it's got a heavy blade. And although it's not overly thick, not like, say, SOCOM manual Microtech, which I'll be doing a review on soon, it is still a wide blade that's got some weight to it. Out of 20 CV. The flipper tab I love is exactly in line with this front surface of the handle. And the jimping, just enough, although I really would have preferred the jimping to go all the way out into that thumbs wheel. We got kind of a harpoon sort of looking blade here. And it differs from the original 0308 because the original 0308 was a recurve, and the clip, I think, came all the way down to here. I had a picture of it handy, but I'm not going to tangent off into that at this point. Wide open construction. We've got 1, 2, 3, I think, standoffs. Yeah, 3 standoffs. And the lockup, as you might imagine, is just phenomenal. It's like a fixed blade. I mean, this is the knife if you want a survival fixed blade, and I'm sure you can find some others as well, some bucks and some cold steels and so on and so forth, the Formax from Cold Steel that are in this category. We're going to measure it up because I'm going to find some other things to talk about, and we may as well get this much out of the way. Yeah, ZT did have some of the specs, but I'm going to give you what I got here. Just shy of a 9-inch overall knife. We'll call it 9 inches. And it is a 3.7-inch blade if you measure it to that point, although since this trails down here on the handle, you get a little bit more cutting edge. So what do we got? We got a 4-inch cutting edge, okay? So you got a 3.7-inch blade with a 4-inch cutting edge. So you've got plenty of surface there. Got a belly forward. You've got a nice straight run here. You got a gradual curve up to the tip. And yes, you have a piercing point should you need it. Handle thickness in inches, 0.61, not skinny, but it's a big knife. I'll call it 0.60. Really, it's tall and feels thin. Blade thickness, 0.15. I think that's going to be 4 millimeters. Yep, 4 millimeters. And it ain't no lightweight, but I wouldn't call it a pocket anchor. If you buy a big knife, you can have a little bit of weight in your pocket. 7.1 ounces with the titanium clip, which maybe it's less without it, who knows. It's a chonker, but not. I don't know how to say this. It's a big knife that isn't. You got a lot of real estate. I love the way they did that Tigerstripe with the stonewash, the black oxide they were talking about. Came through extremely sharp. I got a heavily damaged piece of paper here I've been practicing on, but it's just a laser. Really smooth. I gave it a little bit of a stropping, and it took extremely well to that. Well, why don't we check it out? By the way, I mean, there it is in my hand. It just is not overly big. I got to tell you, I love the knife. I love it more than I thought I would, and I held off. Like I said, I mean, just, when it opens up, it just opens with authority. Here is another ZT, and this one is the Hinderer design 0561. Interesting story behind this one. There was a guy every year that went to the annual, like, Blems sale up in Oregon, I think, at Kershaw/CT. Picked this one up, and I got a great price on it. I can't remember what the price was. And yes, there is a slight blemish on the flipper tab there. And that is it. Otherwise, the knife is in perfect condition. Beautiful titanium textured milled Lockside. There's your original ZT clip right there. This goes back at least, I think, 12 years, 15 years maybe. Nice knife. Don't carry it that often, but look at, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 attachment points for the clip, so you won't be disappointed. And it is a deep carry. Here is one of my all-time favorite ZTs, the 0452 CF. Sinkovich design. Let's get that out of the way. And it's a long one. It is a good half-inch longer overall than the 0380. Not as tall a handle, carbon fiber on one side, titanium on the other. I'll forgive him in this case. I really can't see an inlay happening on this side of the knife, but who knows? Some makers do, some makers don't. Of course, this one you don't need to worry because you got titanium and you got not carbon fiber, and you got titanium and G10. But they look the same. It's wonderful. And here's the 0770 again. This is the only one that is, yes, assisted. But I like it. It's an assisted flipper like some of Kershaw's knives that they produce. And it's a little guy. But, again, I would say it's big little because I've got some left over. Got some nice jimping there. It's a good cutter, high grind. And steel on this guy is S35VN, as is the steel on the Sinkovich. Smooth and drop shut on that one. But I got to tell you, even though we've got good action on these other knives, maybe this one, thumb's still kind of weak, sorry. That definitely is drop shut, almost loose. This one, I'd say, is perfecto, just perfecto. How about up against the Rat 1? Sure, why not? Rat 1's just a little bit shorter and about the same blade length, but much narrower top to bottom. And it's a liner lock. Look around again. Why not? I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous knife. I like the redesign on the blade from the original. I did have the original back a while ago. Let's see if I can find a picture of that original just for compare. I think I saved a screenshot. Let's see. There it is. All right. So there's the original. Can you see it? Kind of dark. You can see the recurve. You can see the way the swedge was on the top. Similar. Kind of a more pronounced belly because of the recurve. And had a nut on the side instead of the indented screw or pivot that they used here. I don't know how to describe the difference there, but about the same size. As I recall, and I don't have the original one, that was my knife, but that felt heavier. This feels a little lighter. I don't know, you get a little bit of lightening going on with the hole there. Not that that's the purpose. That purpose may be either style or to be able to clean out the insides should you drop it in the mud or the sand. Don't know. Hardened steel insert, nicely attached from the outside, which is cool. You often see them attached from the inside, but there it is right there. Hardened steel insert. Love the knife. It doesn't matter what you use it for. Tactical purposes, EDC, camping, military law enforcement use, what have you. And goes in and out of the pocket beautifully with this clip. And no, that clip is the way it is not a hot spot, either in my right hand or in the left. Just isn't a hot spot. MXG did a good job with that clip. You see, barely anything there, just a little bit of an upturn, and it's all very nicely radiused and rounded and smooth. No sharp edges. And although it stands tall here, that lets it get in and out of the pocket, and you do have your dome head screws, those are the original screws from the previous clip that I took off just yesterday. They don't seem to get in the way, and I've got thick pants as well, so no problems in or out. Some of you may argue that you don't need a deep carry clip on this type of a knife, and perhaps that's true. I happen to have this clip kicking around, bought it years ago, never used it. So there you go. It's on there now. Good tension on this too, by the way. And again, that's the clip, not the knife, but works well with the knife. So jimping, there's your minimal billboarding, I would think, and that sort of blends in. And the steel, is the steel there? Oh, serial number. It's got a cool serial number, I think. It is 2669. 2669. Kind of an interesting number. It's a high number, but got some interesting digits in there. Well, let me know what you think of the Tigerstripe and black washed 0308 ZT. Newly acquired by this old sword and permanent part of the collection. Be well, take care, and don't forget to give this vid a like and subscribe. I'll be back soon.